This is Plumb-Ez demonstration video. Plumb-Ez is a Microsoft Excel program used for estimating and auditing the estimate of commercial plumbing and piping systems. You must have Microsoft Excel installed on your computer in order to download and install Plumb-Ez. Plumb-Ez will accept either 32 or 64-bit Excel. Okay, let's get started. First thing I want to show you is, see these tabs down here at the bottom? These are folders for each phase of the project. Now, the full version has 12 folders, or they call them sheets, and they include, in the full version, we have utilities, plumbing, heating, cooling, medical gas, industrial pipe, and seismic bracing. This is just a demonstration version. Okay, over here on the left, you'll see on page 1 of plumbing, it's asking for criteria for the name of the project, the date of bid, etc., etc. And you can type all that in these white cells over here to the right. Okay, let's get started and go on down to the bottom of page 1. This is where we keep our variables for our costs. First variable is this green cell right here for the cost of labor. You put in your cost of labor, whatever your true cost is. For demonstration, I have put in $50 an hour per man hour of labor. Now, over here, we have our digging and compaction. And per size of pipe, you put in your cost for digging 1 foot of trench for that size pipe for digging and compaction. Down here on the bottom of this sheet, you will see that we have prices for hangers as per the pipe size identified in the yellow cells above. Okay, this size of pipe and this hanger price is for one hanger only. It includes the cost of the hanger, the hardware, and the labor. It will be broken apart later. I will show you how. Let's go on down. Next thing I want to show you is this row 42. This purple ribbon here, this thick purple ribbon, is at the top of each page, and it is your identifier. Column A is showing you what you will be estimating in that for that page, and that is your description. Okay, column B is your quantity of pipe and footage that you will put into this cells as what you have for your takeoff from your blueprint. Column C is where you enter your quantities of pieces of fittings. And column D is where you enter the cost of the material from your supply house, from your supplier. Column E will be the total cost of material after it gets multiplied. Column F is your labor factors. These are from your labor calculator books or your labor calculator software. And you can get these, either your software can be acquired either through your PHCC, your Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Contractors Association, or your MCA, your Mechanical Contractors Association. They distribute labor calculators. There are others on the market, but those are the two most popular that I know of. These labor factors I have installed in here are fictitious. They're for demonstration only. You are not to use them in real life. Okay, column G is where you get your total labor hours for the part that you are estimating. Okay, column H is where you get your total labor cost for the section or the part you are estimating. Okay, column I is where you get your total cost for your miscellaneous, being digging or welding. Okay, right there. All right, let's start out here. We're going to do some 2-inch SV pipe underground so I can show you how it calculates the digging. Okay, we're going to come over here and let's come right up so we can see our quantities. All right, now let's just say we did a takeoff of a blueprint and we came up with we need 200 feet of 2-inch SV pipe. Put in your 200 feet from your takeoff, come on down, and you will see as you go across, they're 10 feet each, so you got 20 pieces. 200 times $2 will give you your $400 in material. 200 times your labor calculator will give you your labor hours, and then your labor hours times your $50 up above will give you your cost of labor right there. All right, now if we have 20 pieces of pipe, then naturally we're going to have 20 joints, and if we have 20 joints, we're going to have 20 gaskets. My point is it counts your gaskets for you. It also counts your no-hub couplings. It also counts your couplings for copper, and it also counts your hangers. All right, just to show you here, we're going to put in 1 L. There's your 90-degree L. We're going to put in 1. There is be 1 extra gasket. We got 20, should go to 21. Yes, it did. All right. Now, if we have 200 feet of pipe, we should have 200 feet of digging. Here's your dig. All right, you come across. Remember the price we put in up above for digging and compaction? There's your cost. Comes down, does all the multiplying for you. That is how it does digging and compaction. All right, let's come on down. It succeeds and goes from small to larger pipe. I've only got it to 5-inch for demonstration only. And we're going to come on down. Now look at this. See this red ribbon all the way across here? This is very important because this gives you the total for your material, your labor hours, your labor costs, and your miscellaneous for each separate section of the entire program. And these red ribbons will come up and total later at the bottom in the total sheet. I will show you when we get there. But these red ribbons count all your totals for your materials, labor, and labor costs. Okay, let's come on down. We're going to do something that requires hangers. All right, here's some 1-inch copper. All right, let's just say we did a takeoff and we got 200 feet of copper pipe. Come on down. They're 20 foot a piece, so you got 10 pieces. 200 feet of pipe, and it did all the math out here just as before for your material and your labor. All right, now, if we have 200 feet of pipe and 10 pieces, we're going to have 10 couplings. It counts your couplings. All right, at 200 feet, the code says you need 25 hangers. It automatically counts your hangers. Now, if you remember just a minute ago, I told you up there at the top on page 1 where we entered the price for hangers, that would include both the price of the hanger and the labor. And it takes the price of that hanger for one hanger, multiplied it 25 times, and then it gave you the appropriate amount of money to put here into your materials, and it separates it, splits it apart, and puts a portion of it into your materials, and it puts the other portion into your labor. Okay, now if you have 25 hangers, you should have 25 shields. Well, if you don't have shields, don't put any price in the material. But if you have shields, we'll put $1 in for a shield, and it does the math through as before. Okay, now watch this. 200 feet, this is horizontal pipe. Okay, I've separated horizontal from vertical for a reason, because vertical does not have hangers. So let's just put in 20 feet of vertical. All right, your hangers should stay at 25. Yes, they did. All right, now if we have vertical pipe, naturally we're going to need some riser clamps. So if we need riser clamps, I put it in that dark green to remind you not to forget them. So let's just say we need 2 riser clamps, put them in, it did the math all the way across just like it did before. Here we go, let's come on down. Now this section here is for ride-ins. It's gray. Okay, let's just say we have to build a unistrut rack to mount water valves on. So we're just going to call that frame. All right, now we're going to have one frame, and it's going to have $100 worth of material, and we're going to put in $2 hours of labor. And here we go. It did the labor all the way across, did the math, and now you got your frame. Come on down. You have areas down here to put in solder and flux if you need solder and flux for that type, or if you have ProPress, you leave it alone and do it appropriately. All right. Now, once again, we have a red ribbon for that section. See that? That gives me my totals for my material, my labor hours, and my labor costs. All right, let's come on down. Now we have another purple ribbon. Got a new page. This is our total page at the end of the program for the plumbing section. All right, this first row is your subtotals for your material, your labor hours, your labor dollars, and your miscellaneous. Let's come on down here. See this yellow ribbon? This is a calculator adjustment. Now watch this. I'll show you where this can be used. Let's just say under material, everything's set at 100%. Let's just say that your supplier says, well, I'll give you a 2% cut on your material costs if you pay by the 10th of the month. All right, well, I want to take advantage of that. So it's 100%. I'm going to change it to 98% and take advantage of a 2% cut. All right, I did that. My material costs lowered from there down to there. Now, see this green ribbon? I have a place to put in my tax rate. I have it set at 8%. You're going to set it at whatever your tax rate is for wherever you're working. and you can see your material cost here. Your 8% multiplies, gives it to you in this blue cell. You add your material and your tax, and there's your total right there. There's your subtotal. All right, now let's come over here to this calculator adjustment for labor. Okay, we're at 33.3 hours of labor. Now it's set at 100%, but let's just use this as an imaginary situation where we might have to increase it. Let's suppose that this project is a crawl space. You know it's going to take more labor to do a crawl space than it would any other kind of facility. All right, you're going to say to yourself, well, that's going to be an extra 20% in labor. All right, and I'm going to change that 100 to 120 and come down, and there it did it. Went from 33.3 hours to 40 hours. Gave you a subtotal right there. If we were at 1665 for labor, it increased 20%, and now you have a total cost of $2,000 for your labor. And now we're going to do another subtotal. We got our miscellaneous, we got our labor, and we got our material. Add those together, and they come over here, and you have now a subtotal of 5,112. Okay, that is your raw cost. That is the cost of your labor and material. That is no overhead or profit. So now we're going to come down just below that, and we have a place to put in our overhead and profit. I have them set at 10%, and you can see the numbers come out correctly. But let's just say yours isn't 10%. We say yours is 8%, so I change that to 8. The numbers change appropriately. Okay, let's say that profit isn't 10, it's 11. So I change my percentage, and it does the math for you. So now we have a new subtotal. We're going to add the 5112 to the 409 to the 562. Come on down, and we have a subtotal of $6,083. Now on the left over here, we have room to put in our numbers from our subcontractors. Okay, let's just say we came on down here, and we have one subcontractor for insulation, and let's just say he's charging us $100. We know that's going to be more, but this is just for demonstration. Okay, now we have 6083 plus 100 should give me 6183 for a total at the bottom. And we come down here, and yes, it did. There's your 6183. Okay, let's come over here to heating and cooling. Now, this folder under heating and cooling, it's just like the plumbing, but it's only for heating and cooling. And it's the page 1 is just like the plumbing. So we come on down. You could do all your identifiers there as before. Excuse me. All right, now we have our variables in our green cells again. Here's our labor cost. Pay attention to this one. This is important. This is a demonstration of how to calculate the cost for welding 1 inch of pipe. It's based on circumference. You can use that formula and calculate your own cost as per the way you do your welding. But for this one, I am calculating $4.77 to weld 1 inch of pipe. Let's come down. We're going to weld some 4-inch pipe. Here we go. Put right there in the 4-inch, and we're going to calculate that we have 100 feet of pipe. Well, if we have 100 feet of pipe, they're 20 feet each. That's going to give you 5 sticks of pipe. 5 sticks of pipe is going to give you 5 welds. There you go. Okay, this is to show you that it counts your welds. All right, now watch this. Let's just say we're going to add 1L. 1L has 2 welds, so we have 5 welds. We're going to put in 1 weld. It should go to 7. Yes, it did. Okay, we're going to put in 1T. They have 3 welds, so 3 onto that 7 should give me 10. Yes, it did. It counts your welds, and it multiplied times the formula we have above times the cost of our weld at $4.77 an inch, and there's your total for your welds right there, $599. Now, pay attention to this. See this area right here? You got some labor and some labor costs built up. Where did that come from? You got 100 feet, you got a fitting, and you got a fitting. And you got some labor factors for those, and it multiplies. This is not welding. This is the cost for mobilization and for your fitter to help your welder. This is for welding only. This is for your mobilization and your fitter. And that's how Plumb-Ez works in the welding. Let's come on down. All right. Went a little too far. Let's go on down. Down here, you have a place to include prices for your acetylene, oxygen, and your weld rod. Now, we have a total price right here for your materials for that weld area, for that weld section, and we have a total in labor hours that is for your mobilization and your fitter. We have a total here, excuse me, that's your hours. That's your cost for your fitter and your mobilization. That's the cost of your welder. Once again, your total page is just the same. It has your subtotals, and you can come on down. It has your taxes, and then it comes down here, and you have a subtotal of $21.71. We've set the overhead and profit at 10%. You change it where you want it. Come on down, and we have a total price at the bottom of heating and cooling for $2,605. Okay, now we're going to come over to the estimate sheet. All right, over here, these first gray boxes, all the totals that we had previously for the estimating we've done so far. For taxes, you have your total in taxes, your total in overhead and profit, and these are for observation only. They do not get totaled to the bottom because they're already in the prices of your plumbing and heating, cooling. Here they are right here. And you can see that we have room for the other phases of the project, but we only did estimate on plumbing and heating, cooling, and together those totaled up to $8,788. Come on down. You got room to put in subcontracts here if you like, or you can put them in where we did before. Come on down. We have room for a performance bond. We have room for alternate change orders. And here is your total mechanical estimate right there, $8,788. Now, let's come over here to cost codes. All right, this is where it audits the estimating that has been performed. Now, remember all those red ribbons? For every phase of the entire project, and every folder, every section gets brought over to here. So you have a complete breakdown of the cost for your materials, cost of the amount of your labor hours, amount of your labor cost, and your miscellaneous for each separate section of the entire project. And here it is. Here's your brought over right here. You can see your costs and your hours for the sanitary sewer below grade. Here's the cost for the water pipe we did and the hours. And down below, you can keep going on down, and it will show you the breakdown for the heating, cooling. But that's the way Plumb-Ez works with its audit sheet to audit the program. Thank you.